Honorable members, prayers. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in their sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic, endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, and their good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service, and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people, that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Chieftaincy. Honorable members, good morning once again, and welcome to the second day of the public hearing of the committee, where the committee is considering the reports of the Auditor General on the COVID-19 expenditure. Appearing before the committee today are a number of ministries and agencies. We'll start with introduction of members of the committee and our staff. After that, I'll call the ministries to come to take the oath. So let's start from my right.
Good morning. My name is Kwesi Boatinaje, MP for New Jabe North, and a member of the committee.
Good morning. Kofi Adams, MP for Buim in the Oti region of Ghana. Thank you. Member of the committee.
Good morning. My name is Musa Abdulaziz Ayaba, MP for Mian Constituency and a Deputy Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development and a member of this committee.
Good morning. My name is Samuel Atta Mills, MP for Commander Edina Iguafu Abrim and the Vice Chair of the committee, and a real brother of the late Professor John Evans Atta Mills, from the same mother and from the same father.
My name is James Kluche Abaji, MP for Ketunov and the chair of the committee.
My name is Kofi Ochre Ajekum, MP for Fantia Kwasaf and the ranking member of the committee.
Good morning, Chairman. My name is Ernest Yawanim, Member of Parliament, Kumawu, and a member of this committee.
My name is Isaac Yawopoku, MP for Offenso South, and a member of the committee.
Chair Agent Evans Kobina, Audit Service.
Good morning. My name is John Ngoza, Assistant Auditor General, Audit Service.
Good morning. My name is Michael Ado, Audit Service.
My name is Honorable Collins Adumako Mensa, Efija Kwabre North Member of Parliament and Deputy Energy Minister.
Kingsley Nyakon, MP Kwadaso, Deputy Education Minister.
Sylvester Tete, MP for Botiano English Among from Deputy Minister for Information. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So I'll call three ministries to take the oath because the issues are not many. Minister of Chieftaincy, Minister of Education, and Minister of Information. Minister of Energy, you to join them. Ghana Enterprises Agency. Kindly join them. Ghana Enterprise.
I
Stephen Asamoah Boateng,
do in the name of the Almighty God swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee touching the matter in issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
All right, let's start with Chieftaincy. Honorable Minister, kindly introduce yourselves to the committee.
Where are the answers so that I can read the answers? Good morning, Mr. Chairman of the Parliamentary Accounts Committee. My name is Stephen Asamoah Boateng, the Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. Thank you.
My name is Halima Yakubu, Chief Director, Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs.
My name is Dr. Doliwura Zakaria. I'm the Director of Finance, Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs.
All right, thank you very much. You have only one issue in the COVID expenditure report. And this is it is titled Unaccounted COVID-19 Funds, 605,962, which involve 6 regional houses of chiefs. The recommendation is that the chief director should ensure a recovery of the money. Has that been done?
Mr. Chairman, first of all, let me thank you for the opportunity to appear before your committee. Coming to Parliament always gives me fond memories because I've been here before, and the work you do is so critical to our democracy, so thank you. Let me also say that we will be direct and give you candid answers. Obviously, you know my position on some of these answers that sometimes civil servants will go, it's in the pipeline, it's been done and all that, but we will give you direct answers. Mr. Chairman, I appear with my Chief Director and the Director of Finance. In terms of the use of the COVID-19 funds allocated to the ministry, I've supplied answers to the questions that the auditors raised, and that is in my response to the committee, I don't know whether you've had copies. Then I'll come to your question whether it's been recovered or not. Is that a good idea so we can go by the answers first?
Honorable Minister, I just want to know if it is recovered. If not, then I'll do a follow-up. No, not recovered. You have accounted for it. Then that ends it.
You are right. No, not recovered.
But you have accounted
we've
for
accounted for it.
So. That is what I want to hear. Have you informed the auditors about it?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Auditors, you are informed about the accounting for the money. If you are not informed, then I'll direct that the ministry provide the evidence to you to authenticate the expenditure, and that will settle the matter.
Honorable Chair, we don't have the supporting documents to show how those amount was spent. So maybe they can furnish us with those documents.
All right. So, Ministry, can you furnish them after you are discharged? Furnish the auditors for them to verify.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We will do that. They have the previous ones. I think there's only one that we just located, and that's what you don't have. So we will supply you. Thank you.
All right, that'll be all for you. You are discharged.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Ministry of Information. Kindly introduce yourself to the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, my name is Honorable Sylvester Tete, Deputy Minister for Information and a Member of Parliament for Botiano, English I'm from. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
My name is Lily Fatisole, Acting Chief Director, Ministry of Information.
My name is Maole Segbefia, a Director at the Ministry of Information.
Thank you for coming. You have a few issues in the report. The first one in paragraph 302, payment of unapproved risk allowance, 151,500. The auditors noted that senior management staff and other supporting staff of the Ministry of Information paid themselves a total amount of 151,500 as COVID-19 risk allowance for coming to work during the lockdown period. Contrary to the above presidential directives and without approval from the Office of the Chief of Staff. So they are recommending that the amount should be recovered from the beneficiary staff and paid to the Auditor General's recoveries account. Have you been able to do so?
Mr. Chairman, I would like the Director take the responses. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, we were required to submit our implementation plan and budget to the Ministry of Health and to the bank for approval, which we complied with. And the plan contains all activities to be implemented, plus all allowances that are due officers who implement them. So, yes, Mr. Chairman, the plan was submitted to the bank, to the Ministry of Health, duly approved before implementation commenced. Thank you very much.
Who approved the allowances?
Mr. Chair, the allowances were part of the plan that was submitted to the Ministry of Health for approval.
So Ministry of Health approved the allowances, approved the plan, that include allowances?
Yes, yes, Honorable.
So is it the duty of Ministry of Health to do that?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Are you the accountant? Or
No.
the director? You are what?
I'm the director in charge of policy planning, budgeting, monitoring, and evaluation.
Anything relating to payment of allowances or entitlement to employees, is it the duty of the Ministry of Health to do or the Ministry of Finance?
Mr. Chair, as I indicated earlier, before the commencement of the project, all entities were required to submit their plans and budget to the Ministry of Health. And that plan should contain every activity you intend to implement, which we complied with. And there was no indication that we should have sent the plan to finance for approval. And so therefore, we only complied with the directives that came with the implementation of the project.
Why did you budget for that allowance as part of the plan? Why?
Yes, Honorable, you would recall that during that time when the country was locked down, most officers of MDAs were required to stay at home.
Yes.
Yes, but the Ministry of Information was required to report to work every day, and as part of the response to the COVID fight. And so we needed to motivate those staff who came daily to office to help develop the COVID-19 response plan for the communication aspect of the project.
So you took that decision to motivate the staff, or it was a directive to motivate them?
It was a directive.
By who?
By management.
No, if I say you, I wasn't referring to you. I'm talking about management. So it is the management that took the decision?
Yes, Honorable.
Does it lie in their hands, our powers to do that?
Yes, Honorable. I believe so.
Can you prove to me?
Honorable, I know in the civil service, the administrative instructions that are issued to MDAs also require that when officers of the service are exposed to certain risks, they are paid some allowances to motivate them to continue to give up their best.
Do you receive car maintenance allowance?
No, please.
Which allowance do you receive apart from this one we are talking about?
I mean, allowances generally or in relation to COVID-19?
No, generally, not COVID-19.
I may have to refer to my letters, yes.
So, as an employee, you don't know your entitlements?
Honorable, I do, but I'm saying that I need to be sure of all the entitlements, and then I'll give you a list of them.
Who determined that, the entitlement that you receive? Who determined them?
It is determined by the Office of the Head of Civil Service.
Why not determined by the management of the ministry? Answer the question. Why not this one determined by the office, the Minister of Information?
Mr. Chairman, I think his response earlier, he indicated that the work plan for COVID-19 response includes allowances approved by the Ministry of Health. So I think he's missing that point. So it was not approved by management, as it were, to pay themselves that allowance. But the work plan sent to Ministry of Health approval. That is a mother ministry for COVID-19 response, includes allowances that were paid. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anything relating to benefit to employees is determined by the head of civil service and determined by head of civil service, approved by Ministry of Finance. So, Ministry of Health cannot approve that. They can only approve whatever plan that relate to expenditure, specifically relate to the COVID. But if individuals, workers are benefiting, for instance, the allowances for frontline health workers was determined by the Ministry of Health, but eventual approval was the Ministry of Finance. So if they are also to take risk allowance, it should be approved by the Ministry of Finance. That is a point I want to derive, for you to know that the Health Ministry has no power to approve. It's the Ministry of Finance that has power to approve.
Mr. Chairman, you are right, but on this basis, for the COVID response, all the action plans and its related matters were forwarded to the Ministry of Health for approval from the Ministry of Finance, because they themselves, the monies expended on the COVID-19 response were finally approved by the Ministry of Finance. So I'm sure flowing from that, they also gave the downward approval to ministries, agencies, and departments who were part of the COVID-19 response operations.
Members of Parliament were also working during the COVID period. Honorable Minister, were you paid any risk allowance?
An MP then, Mr.
You were not MP then? 2021.
2021.
Oh, yeah. Honorable Park, were you here at that time?
Yes.
Were you paid any risk allowance?
Honorable Chairman, no, not even a peswa. Not even a peswa, Mr. Chairman.
Auditors, the officer is saying that the amount has been approved for them. Do you have any evidence to that effect? Have they shown you any approval letter or whatever?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. We can confirm that we've seen the approvals and no objections from the World Bank for them to proceed to implement the annual work plan. Thank you.
Did this information go to you before this report or after?
Honorable Chair, it was after.
So we can proceed?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Let's go to the next one. Unsupported payment of allowances. This is also allowances. Is this also approved? Auditors?
Yes, Honorable.
So this has also got your attention after the reports?
Indeed so, Honorable Chair.
Director, is it policy planning, monitoring, and evaluation, PPME? Why did you decide to provide them with all the relevant information after the audit?
Honorable Chair, thank you so much. Honorable Chair, at the time the audit team arrived at our ministry, there was a para-auditing that was happening. At the time, that other team had taken all documentation away, and we actually mentioned it to them. They called them and confirmed that. So we had to retrieve those documents from that team, and then we forwarded them to the new audit team.
And this took how long?
A couple of weeks, sir.
Paragraph 310, Honorable Isaac.
Thank you, Chairman. Honorable Minister, Deputy Minister, your ministry took special interest amounting to 529,229 Ghana cedis for various COVID programs and activities. And so far, 13,980 has not been accounted for. Have you accounted for the outstanding amount?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's been duly accounted for.
Have you shown evidence to the auditors?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It is.
Auditors, are you in a position to confirm?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Chairman, we are good to go.
Paragraph 313, Honorable Park.
Grateful, Mr. Chairman. Absence of performance bonds. Your ministry engaged the services of 2 companies, named here as Modern Security Printers, Ghana Limited, and Densu Aegis Network, Ghana Limited. According to the auditors, they didn't cite performance bonds, and they believe that in the event of non-performance, government wouldn't have a basis to insist on performance by the 2 contractors or companies. They have recommended that a chief director should always demand performance guarantees to cover the period of the entire contract from contractors, suppliers, vendors, per the terms of the contract. That's a recommendation. Are you now doing that?
Yes, we are.
Mr. Chairman, they are now abiding by the recommendation.
Honorable Yusuf.
Chairman, thank you. So I want to find out from them why you didn't insist to get the performance bond before allowing them to do their work. Why? Because it's a breach of the law.
Honorable Chair, Honorable, you are very right. But I believe what happened was a complete omission, which the ministry took note of. And we actually have affirmed from subsequent contracts that those documentation are received before we proceed. So thank you.
I'm not talking about subsequent contracts. I'm talking about this particular contract. But has it been well executed?
Yes.
The first part. And the second part is, why did you decide on your own to breach the law?
Honorable Chair, I mentioned that it was an omission, and that
At what point do you consider omission to be a breach of the law? What point do you consider an omission to be a breach of the law? I'm saying to you that you have breached the law. Instead of you to say that you have breached it and perhaps give an explanation, you are trying to dodge that answer. Because this is what we are seeing, and people want to use COVID as an excuse to breach the law. When COVID started, government came to parliament, the laws that we were supposed to rearrange, we did all that. And so there's no any excuse to breach any law, and then you come and say that because of COVID or because of emergency or because of omission, whatever it is, a law was breached. And once the law was breached, somebody should be held liable. Don't you think so?
Honorable Chair, we've taken the recommendations in good faith.
You see, my friend is trying to dodge you. Anyway, I mean, let's ensure that going forward we do the right thing. But just to tell the chief director, yes, when she was introducing herself, she didn't add that she's the Kanape Wuche, the Queen Mother from the Bole traditional area. I think it's important. It's a very big title, and the people revere you and they give the title to you. Touch it to your names as you move forward. You are highly respected in the community, and I should say it here. Thank you.
Okay.
The name is
Kanape
Wuche. Kanape Wuche. That's not for you.
Paragraph 319, Honorable Akosi Konedu.
Chairman, thank you very much. Deputy Minister, welcome. With your ministry. Slide. Chairman, this has to do with unsupported payment. And you fail to comply with Regulation 78 of the PFM regulation, which requires you to have documentations to support activities that you do and even services that you provide. And in this instance, an amount of 4,368,000 Ghana cedis, 885, which represent two items. One for the provision of educational materials, that is posters and educational materials, A4 sheets, and also the provision of public education on COVID-19 safety protocols for schools. The auditors said they cited the distribution list of all the posters and those materials. But for the educational purposes aspect, the public education, they had no evidence to that. And that failure to provide such evidence to support the execution of that contract, a recovery of that amount should be made from the Chief Director and paid into the Accountant General's recovery account. Has there been evidence to support that and shown to the auditors as such?
Okay, thank you. Honorable Chair, we have submitted the supporting documents to the auditors.
Chief Director, from the way my colleague introduced you with the title, I just can't push. But with the document, no, I'm showing reverence and respect, but that will still have to go to the Queen Mother. But with the documents, are you also able to confirm to us that the education went on?
Yes, please. The education went on, and the documents, the report has been submitted to the auditors. Everything went on. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Essentially, it's okay. Auditors, can you please confirm that these education on COVID-19 was actually done and the evidence shown to you as such?
Honorable Chair, we can confirm the activities took place. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Chairman, why Sule promised a borehole?
Borehole, and it has not been delivered.
Sir Sule, I learned you promised Queen Mother a borehole and you've not delivered. I will be her advocate today. Chairman.
Chairman, where is this coming from? The community.
But you introduce her as Canopy Wuchi.
The community wants a borehole, and I'm going to do it.
Oh, okay. Senior Sule will deliver.
The community, the borehole will be drilled as soon as possible.
Yes. With assurance, we are here.
All right. So that will be all for Ministry of Information. You are discharged. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Are you the chairman for the Ghana Enterprises Agency?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Hey! So then let me take. No, okay. You can't sit in. You can't sit in. It's the Minister of Trade, but you are the board chairman. Let's have a Minister of Education. Minister of Education. Honorable Deputy Minister, kindly introduce yourselves to the committee.
Good morning, Chair, and committee members and everybody. I'm Kingsley Nyako, MP for Kwadaso, Deputy Education Minister in charge of TVET. And with my Finance Director.
Let them introduce themselves.
Okay, sure.
Honorable Chair, I am Nana Dr. David Anand Boni. I'm the Director for Finance. Also say Oman Krado for Gombwe Kropon in the Gombwe traditional area.
Honorable Chair, good morning. My name is Inu Seshrazu, Chief Planning Officer with Ministry of Education.
You're welcome. You have two issues. The first one, paragraph 288, to be taken by the ranking member.
Thank you. The infraction here is that you have to refund a surplus COVID funds of 7.7 million. 7.7 million. The Ministry of Education were given 340 million to do fumigation and other preparations as a result of the emergency reopening of the schools directed by the President. After the exercise, the auditors noticed that an amount of 7.7 million was not utilized and should therefore be refunded to the Auditor General's account. Has that been done?
The Chairman, so the evidence before us is that the 7.7 million amount that has to be refunded is not, accurate or is out of place, because when the
Minister, please allow the technical people to answer.
Okay.
So my question is, the auditors have recommended that you have surplus funds of 7.7 million and that it should be refunded. Has it been refunded?
Honorable members, no, because we have a contrary view to the position of the auditors.
Oh, okay, state it.
They are
State your
we're
view.
very good friends. And I must also state that this is one of our inheritance. As such, we are always speaking to the documents before us.
I don't get you. Can you
The issue.
Can you restate what you are saying?
Yeah, the issue before us here, the current management or the current leadership of the ministry inherited all this issue. And therefore, we are speaking to the documents.
Okay, we are listening to you. We are listening to you.
At the initial audit process, some vouchers were omitted from the list presented to the auditors. That indicated a shortfall.
How do you know that some vouchers were omitted?
Please.
Yes, it's in the records.
Allow him to talk.
So say that the records show.
The records
now
show.
you are speaking as if you were there when you told the committee that you inherited it.
Thank you, Honorable.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
The records show that there was an omitted voucher which was later discovered and given to the auditors. They testified that it was a legitimate expenditure within and for COVID activities. Unfortunately, when they finished, the final report was that we should still refund that money. When you add up that omitted voucher to the already existing vouchers, the expenditure even exceed what Ministry of Finance actually remitted to the ministry. And therefore, we had a different opinion that since we have even incurred more than what Ministry of Finance gave us,
are you ready?
We are not in a position to refund that money to the same government.
Okay. Auditors, can you confirm what they are saying?
Indeed, Honorable Chair, we reviewed the document, the payment voucher, that was the amounting to 29,977,702 Ghana cedis. And we concluded that although the amount was used in the fumigation of senior high schools and special schools, the contract was not to be financed by COVID-19 funds. The entire amount, the entire contract, which was 41,977,702, was expected to be financed by the Ghana Education Trust Fund, GET Fund.
All right, but it was, so what you are saying is that the funds were supposed to be paid for this particular omission was supposed to be paid for by GET Fund, but they have used COVID funds to pay. Is that what you are saying?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Okay. For me, I think even though it is an infraction, all right, but they've paid 400 and something million to do the fumigation by the COVID fund anyway. There's one invoice that had been omitted, and that was supposed to be paid by GET Fund. It has not been paid, and it has been paid by COVID fund. So long as you are satisfied that the job has been done, I'll leave the rest to Chairman.
Chairman, thank you very much. The stories are not aligning for me. Now, the ministry is saying that even though they did not submit the invoice for purposes of the special audit at the time the team arrived, they discovered later on that they had even overspent. Now, did the ministry apply to the Ministry of Finance for the additional monies that they expended to be remitted to them?
Honorable, the records actually going in through the contract, there was no indication that GET Fund was to pay. What actually happened was that it was GES that awarded the contract. After the execution of the contract, they forwarded the bill to the ministry to pay. So the ministry forwarded it to GET Fund for them to help. GET Fund could only pay 12 million out of the 41 million because only 12 million was available in their disbursement formula. So they had to return the difference to the ministry. And you know, GES and GET Fund are all babies of the ministry. So the debt squarely fall on the ministry to pay. And that is why the ministry paid.
That is not the issue. You have told the committee that you have a contrary opinion to the opinion conveyed by the auditors in the official report. And that is that you are not liable to pay the amount involved. Especially so because you have even overspent above that invoice. And I'm asking you, when you discovered that you spent more than it was noted down, did you apply for you to be paid the difference?
Honorable, under the exigency of the COVID, on the pandemic, the ministry and the issues concerning the children in school, the ministry had to find money anywhere to meet presidential directives, with the hope and assurance that Ministry of Finance will reimburse them. That is why they paid.
Hold on. Honorable Minister, you see, the loopholes we are discovering that people took advantage of and spent money without recourse to law, it's very serious. You listen to his language, exigencies of the time. So procedural requirements were waived and things were done haphazardly. Public funds have gone down. He's just told the committee whimsically that because we discovered that we overspent, that is why we are not liable to pay the finding of fact made by the auditors. Meanwhile, as an entity, you are supposed to respond formally to the audit findings and give reasons why you think that the finding of fact by the auditors cannot be the case. That wasn't done. You are before this committee this morning and saying that you hold a contrary opinion, whimsically like that, no formal communication. So the monies involved, we should allow it to go.
Mr. Chairman, even though, as you did say, Rankin said, I'm new in the ministry, but facts are facts. I mean, you need to speak to evidence captured on documents. I think with respect, I'm diametrically opposed to issues being raised by my good friend, Roxanne Defemapo. Nothing whimsical has been done. Nothing untoward has been done by the ministry. The issue,
Honorable
is
Minister,
that with respect.
Hold on, Honorable Minister, I am not speaking my opinion. I am speaking to matters contained in the official report by the Auditor General.
I agree with you.
So if the ministry had a contrary opinion pursuant to the Audit Act, there's a procedure under law that after the audit is done, within 30 days, you are supposed to respond to the management issues raised. That wasn't done.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I'm only talking about issues suggesting that something untoward has been done, using words like whimsical and all that. But the point I'm making is that explanation has been offered. They fingered that 7+ million cedis has to be refunded. They needed an explanation to that. And the ministry has offered explanation. And the auditors here did confirm that indeed there was a missing voucher to the tune of about 29 million. That one has been confirmed. And the ministry is saying that GES had a contract of 41 million plus. And we all know that GES and Get Fund are all agencies under the Ministry of Education. So GES sent the invoice to the ministry to pay. The ministry also sent it to Get Fund and only got about 12 billion. The outstanding, that 7 million that is being questioned, was taken from the Free Senior High School account at the Bank of Ghana, and evidence has been provided. What I want to say is that...
Was this evidence given to the auditors?
I'm sure it has been done. Even there's an attachment, I think, that I've seen myself. But the point I'm making is that...
Hold on, Honorable Minister. Auditors, can you confirm that... No, that's how we do this. Auditors, can you confirm that you got the evidence of the monies taken from the Free Senior High account?
Yes, Honorable Chair, we got the PV of 29 million plus, which was missing. Thank you.
At what time was this given to you? During the audit?
Yeah. After the audit, Honorable Chair.
After the audit. Okay, Honorable Minister, please.
So the point I'm making is that the issue under question has been addressed by the ministry. And as Rankin said, this is not injurious. Oh, I'm saying it is not injurious because no monies have been misappropriated. The fact is that the 7 million...
We made that determination, Honorable Minister.
Sorry?
The injury or non-injury to the law is the determination of this committee to make. And not yours.
I yield to you. I yield to you, my good friend.
I think we have stretched this too long. So I will not allow any further decision. That's what?
Now you see, I've made you to give me opportunity.
I have not even called you. I only asked. So, so how much is the amount spent by the ministry to cover the fumigation, which was not actually from the COVID account?
Honorable, everything was from the COVID fund. The other sources may be the goods and services, because the life of our children was concerned, was the matter in issue.
Let's move to paragraph 296, Vice Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And now here's another fumigation. Yes, you were given 124 million for fumigation. Then you contracted Zoom Lion and you gave them 100 million for fumigation. Amount left was 23 million. Then you used 20 million of the leftover to buy Veronica Bacchus toiletries and other amounts. Then what we had left over was 3.3 million. And you decided to give that 3.3 million to special schools across the country to prevent the schools from imminent closure due to lack of funds. The auditors are saying that you didn't ask for permission to give that 3.3 million to those special schools. What is the status of?
Honorable Chairman, my honorable friend, my sympathies to you and your family on the demise of your, 12 years demise of your brother. Honorable Chairman.
Just go to the point and answer the question.
It's my very good friend. Unlike Honorable Apark, he's my very good friend. Honorable Chairman, with your kindest indulgence, when I was going through the Auditor General's report, the COVID-19 report, I saw this infraction. Unfortunately, it seems to me GS had not seen it. So yesterday, I forwarded it to the Director General. It seems we don't have the response here. So I'm just craving on your indulgence to reschedule GES because I sent it to him last night, but I didn't get any, and the Director of Finance.
But, sir.
Okay, so Chair, the indication we are getting from the auditors is that money has been paid, has been refunded. That's what they are saying. So if they can confirm to that.
Are you withdrawing your first application?
Yes, please, with respect. With respect, because I didn't get feedback from them. With respect, I do. This is the latest and fresher development from them.
From the auditors.
So you, who is at the ministry, don't even know, but the auditors know.
Yeah, maybe.
Or the elevator to your office is spoiled, so they can't reach your office.
I said, I sent them the report for their feedback. And
Okay.
I didn't get anything from them.
So auditors, you are asking for the money to be refunded into the Auditor General Recovery account. Can you confirm that recovery has been made into the account?
Yes, Honorable Chair. On 31st August 2023, the 3.37750 was paid into the Auditor General's recoveries account.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's fine. Honorable Isaac.
Chairman, I just want to find out from the Honorable Minister whether indeed the contract was for all schools, both public and private.
Honorable, as the Honorable Minister started with, we are yet to get details of those transactions from GES.
I mean the contract, even before the execution was done. I just want to know, the contract you issued, was it to cover all schools in Ghana, public and private?
I am informed all schools.
Chairman, I'm asking that question because I also have a school somewhere. And
we actually don't have the GS here, or do we have the GS here? We don't have them here.
Chair, the GS is not here.
So they might not be able to,
Give the details.
the ministry will not be able to respond to this question. All right, so Honorable Member, that will be all for Ministry of Education and the Ghana Health Service. Honorable Minister, you are discharged. So now have Ministry of Energy. Order. Honorable Deputy Minister, kindly introduce yourselves to the committee.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. My name is Honorable Collins Adoma Komensa, MP for Efija Kwabre North and the Deputy Minister of Energy.
Good morning, Chairman. My name is Isaac Nsakubaini, Director in charge of Policy Planning, Budget and Monitoring Evaluation at the Ministry of Energy.
Honorable Member, there's too much noise at the table. Why?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. My name is Dr. Ebenezer Tego. I'm the Deputy Chief Executive in charge of Finance for VRA.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. My name is Engineer David Boria Samoa, the Deputy Managing Director, Commercial Services, ECG.
Good morning, Honorable Chairman. My name is Samuel Yi Atta, Director of Finance, Electricity Company of Ghana, and also John Twahine of Aberdeen in the Central Region.
Honorable Chairman, my name is Dr. Belinda Yeboah Jamina, Director of Customer Services, ECG.
Honorable Chair, my name is Hashim Idris, I'm Director Commercial from NETCO.
Honorable Chair, my name is Ni Ayitego, Head of Legal NETCO.
Thank you very much for coming. You have been cited in the report of the Auditor General for the COVID expenditure. Paragraph 260, Honorable Aziz will take it.
Thank you, Chairman. The infraction has to do with the President's address to the nation of 9 April 2020 indicated that as part of the measures to mitigate the effects of the pandemic on the social and economic life of the country, government will fully absorb electricity bills for all lifeline consumers from April 2020 to March 2021. It is indicated here that Finance Ministry was able to release money for this payment from government. But the challenge the auditors realized was that there was not a policy guideline as to how this issue can be implemented. I want to find out, does the ministry now put up a policy guideline in case we have a situation of this nature?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We've taken note of it, and the ministry is working to put together a policy guideline for subsequent situations.
Chairman, thank you. I yield to you. Yes, I'm done. The issue was a policy guideline. There wasn't any policy guideline. Oh, look, check 264. We, however, noted that these directives were not followed up with clear policy guidelines on the implementation. The lack of the clear policy guideline led to different interpretations by the companies. Yes, so.
All right, I'll take up from where you left off.
Thank
so
you,
I'll go to the next paragraph.
Okay.
Paragraph 265.
Yes.
As at the time of the validation, reconciliation had been conducted by the power distributors with the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Energy. And there was an outstanding payment of 591,876,182.29 Ghana cedis, which was yet to be paid. The details are shown in the table below. So if you take UCG, there's an outstanding balance of 562,412,980. Has the Ministry of Finance been able to settle this outstanding balance for UCG?
And I'll have the officials from ECG answer that question.
Honorable Chair, out of this amount, the Ministry of Finance has paid 657,874. Sorry. The difference, Honorable Chair, the difference has not been paid. Thank you.
So the ministry is still owing the 562.4 million.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Okay. Now, VRA. VRA, your amount was 156.5 million, but the government paid 146. The amount was 156, government paid 146. There's a balance of 10 million. Has that been paid? VRA.
I'll have the VRA officer answer that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That hasn't been paid, Mr. Chairman.
It hasn't been paid?
It hasn't been paid. It's
Okay.
outstanding.
Let's go to NETCO. NETCO, your balance is 19.463 million. Has it been paid?
Mr. Chairman, not yet.
All right. Can we have Minister of Finance people here? Clerk, kindly swear them in. I want to put the question to them when they are going to pay the power producers. Minister of Finance.
I,
Stella Dede Williams,
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
touching the matter in issue shall be the truth, the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Clerk, kindly get a chair for the Minister of Finance. All right, Ranking, you have a question before I come to the ministry officials.
Why that? Yeah, my question actually goes to the auditor. If you look at paragraph 266, the auditors are saying that they were not able to certify the amounts calculated by ECG. In other words, they are not able to certify whether the amounts calculated for government to pay is correct. The auditors have stated that. Chairman, then my view is that the balances we are talking about has been thrown into dispute. So if we can ask ECG and, if you like, ECG to speak to that issue, because before we ask even the bank, we ask the government to pay, there must be an agreement somehow. So that's my, Chairman, that's my issue. I don't know who is going to answer that. You were not able to satisfy the auditors, ECG, that the amount you are claiming is what you should be claiming. Can you speak to that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the figure 562,412,980 is actually correct. What is happening is this, the president was very clear within the period that we should apply the COVID relief. And the nature of billing is such that the customer consumes within that period, you read and you bill the customer. These were customers mostly, they constituted 18.7%, the disparity. Constituted 18.7% of our customers. Their meters could not be read at the time because they were government of Ghana projects, SHEP, self-help electrification projects. So their meters were read after the period. And Mr. Chairman, we needed to bill those customers. And the moment you do the billing of those customers, it comes back to the period and debit or credit. Some of them had credit, others had debit. But the net figure was what brought the disparity. So they were looking at only within the period that we should have ended the billing in March 2021. But it went beyond because those meters could not be read at that time. They were read after and billed. Mr. Chairman, that's what caused the difference.
Yeah, whatever it is, the auditors are not satisfied. But you see, MD, I also have a challenge in calculating these things. Some of us know that there are certain areas where you don't have meters. There are certain areas where you are giving them estimated bills. Am I not right?
Mr. Chairman, you are right.
Yes. And there are areas that your bills are not read for some months. So I think it would be good if you can really sit down with the auditors and look at all these things so that the amount that is owed, you could be shortchanging yourself or overcharging government. So look at it again. So long as they are not satisfied, we are unable to, we are able to make any strong recommendation for you to be paid, given all these issues that we have on the ground. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, advice well taken. We'll look at that and meet with the auditors.
Chairman, thank you. I was
Honorable
going to
Afrifa.
ask the same question that Rankin asked, because the figure in question is being disputed by the auditors, and I don't think it is fair to ask government to pay until you do the reconciliation and come out with an accurate figure that is satisfied by the auditors and yourself. Your billing and all others, that doesn't fall under our domain. You have to sit down with the auditors. Any explanation that you give here, I don't think will be okay unless the auditors satisfy the amount. Thank you, Chairman.
Auditors, can you help me understand what you put on paragraph 265? Paragraph 265. As at the time of the validation, reconciliations had been conducted by the power distributors with the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Energy, and there was an outstanding payment of 591, which was yet to be paid. What is the meaning of that? They have done the reconciliation, and they have both agreed, or three of them have agreed. So why are you coming up with the paragraph 266?
Chair, yes, Ministry of Finance made some payment based on the agreement they had. But then Ministry of Finance wanted us to review the underlying records to be sure that whatever they are paying is what they're supposed to pay. And that is why we have this situation. Thank you.
But the Ministry of Finance itself, together with the Ministry of Energy and the power distributors, have sat down and reconciled themselves and agreed on this amount to be paid. What again are they asking you to do?
Chair, as it happened, when we went in, we had differences. And that's why we have thrown this table here for us to look at.
And don't forget, Ministry of Energy, power distributors are more technical in this field than most of us here. Ministry of Finance itself is also technical in that. All the technical people have sat down and agreed that the outstanding balance is 591. I think we should go by what we have, they have done. Yes.
Chairman, thank you. Chairman, if you read paragraph 266. Yes, I'm coming. With what yes. We were unable to satisfy this amount. Come to the last sentence. ECG granted reliefs to customers from January 2021 to December 2021, which was beyond March 2021, as stated in the President's address. And if you go back...
That has been explained by ECG.
Yes.
They have explained that during SHEP, some of these people do not receive their billing as at the time the directive ends. But if the bill comes later, it will calculate from the beginning.
Yes.
So it's easy to know the cutoff points. So there's no problem there.
Chairman, go and read 6.2.
But those things were done, and the Minister of Finance have agreed to the bill of 591, together with Minister of Energy.
Yes. No. Yes. Then it should become a bad debt.
Now, we now come to the Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Finance, you have agreed with the Ministry of Energy and the power distributors that there is an outstanding bill of 591.8 million Ghana cedis. When are you going to pay them this money?
Good morning, Honorable Chairman. Good morning, members of the committee, honorable members of the committee. The
Please,
Ministry of Finance.
kindly introduce yourself again.
Okay, sorry. Good morning. My name is Stella Williams. I'm the coordinating director at the Ministry of Finance. Thank you. The Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Energy have been in the process of reconciling some of these payments. And I understand that there's a committee which is looking at, all the outstanding payments from the energy sector. And so there's still reconciliation going on. So for this specific payment, I'm not in a position to say when it will be paid, but there's an ongoing reconciliation exercise, not just for these covered funds, but other funds that are owed. So we will like to come back on this if it's agreeable to the chairman for the specific timing for the payment of this amount.
So if the reconciliation that you talk about, which is ongoing, is concluded,
yes,
and the figure is determined, do you have money under the COVID fund to pay?
No, we don't have money under the covered fund to pay. We'll pay from budgetary resources.
You pay from budgetary resources,
Yes,
okay.
Thank you.
Chairman, I have two quick follow-ups. One, the auditors noted in their reports that they had agreed with you. So from your answer, it means there was no agreement, especially when there is reconciliation still ongoing. So so it's not meant for. So auditors, how did you arrive at the conclusion that there was an agreement?
No, it was these auditors have arrived at another.
Yes. So it's directed at auditors.
Yes.
Auditors.
Honorable Chair, there was a document from all the companies that stated the reconciliation had been done with the ministries. And a copy can be sent.
And based on the reconciliation, you deduced that there was an agreement based on the document for the ministry to pay.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Okay, but the ministry is now saying that the reconciliation is still ongoing.
Thank you, Honorable Member. The reconciliation on this particular exercise, I think, was sort of concluded. But there are other energy sector related payments.
So the auditors got it right. On this audit, on these figures, the auditors got it right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that was why Chairman asked, when will you pay?
Yes. I think I said we'll come back to that on that. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now, you also said, as part of your response, that you'll be paying from budget support. You mentioned budgetary allocation.
We'll have to pay from our existing budget.
From existing budget?
Yes, if we have to pay.
Now, that bothers me, because you see, this is a 2022 audit. July 20. So this audit is exactly 2 years old. And from the audit, the sources of funding for mitigating the COVID pandemic have all been captured by the auditors. And these funds have all come in. And they've all been utilized for the period, or we raised, actually, according to the records, we raised 21.844 billion in all to deal with these matters. So I was hoping to hear from you that the funds are set aside to pay them. So once you agreed on how much to pay, you just dip your hand in that account and pay. I use the terms liberally because I don't want to. I panicked when you said you have to pay them from your budgetary allocations, which will be going forward. Meanwhile, we are told that all the expenditures as captured by the auditors and established were incurred based from funds expended from this amount of money. Do you understand my concern?
Please, my name is Ya Asanto Asante, the Group Head for Budget Monitoring and Reporting under the Budget Division. So, in relation to what my coordinating director was explaining, the programming of the funds were done through the entire appropriation process, and some of the And some of the expenditures were for budget support, and some of them were directly for the COVID expenditure. So everything that was done through the budget. So if there's an additional amount that has been reconciled that has to be processed, then it would have to go through the budget process. Additionally, the reconciliation that my boss also mentioned, the expectation of it was that some of it may result in some netting off that may not necessarily require some payment or cash outflows. So until then the ministry will be able to advise on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Coordinating Director, did I hear you say, if we have to pay? Because it's either you'll be paying or you're not paying. But if you say, if we have to pay.
Thank you, Honorable Member.
Yeah.
I think in reference to what my colleague just said, that there might be some netting off, because I said that we are looking at payments and reconciliation broader than what we have here. So the netting off is what I refer to. Depending on what the netting off in this arrangement, that.
But will that be applicable? This is COVID, separate from the other issues you are raising. And I remember when Honorable Dafiamopo asked you, you admitted that the auditors were right in terms of the computations they have done. So if the auditors were right in terms of the computations that they have done, it means that you have to pay.
Yes, sir. We are not trying to run away from our obligations, but we're just looking at government as a whole, in the sense that, there are other reconciliations that might be done, and then there might be some netting off. We are not saying that it will be fully netted off, and so that is the reference I made. So you're totally right. Yes, this is for COVID, but we're looking at government as a whole and the amounts owed the energy sector. Thank you.
Honorable Afifa.
Chairman, thank you. When you look at the 265 and the 266, it's a little bit misleading, because the auditors says that looking at how the thing is, when they went to the ministry to do the audit, the balance or the arrears that the Minister of Finance was supposed to pay to the energy sector was this 591,867 million. That one is there. That one is established. That one, there has been an agreement between the three parties, that is the energy supplying companies. And then the Ministry of Finance were not satisfied with that figure. So they asked them to do a reconciliation. And from what I am reading, the auditors were satisfied by the amount put forward by VRA and then NETCO. But the ECE one, they were not. So that is where the bone of contention is. Until the auditors and the Ministry of Energy have been able to establish, get the figure for Ministry of Finance, I don't think they can pay the total amount. So they have to do their homework, sit down again and do the reconciliation and give us the figure.
Honorable Refer, there is no need for any reconciliation. Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Energy, and then the power distributors have sat down and did the reconciliation. They've all agreed on this figure. So that is the figure we are going by. The reconciliation that the coordinating director is talking about is broader than this, where if the ministry also, or if the agents, the power distributor also owes the ministry some money, they will do some netting off. Depending on the figures, who will settle the other is what he's talking about. So the issue about that doesn't come in. So we'll move forward. All right, so that will be all for Ministry of Energy. I want to thank you for coming. You are discharged.
Thank you, Mr.
Ministry
Chairman.
of Finance,
Thank
you are
you.
not discharged. You are still around.
Have you sent information?
Let's have Ghana Enterprise Agency. Honorable members, order. Ghana Enterprise Agency, kindly introduce yourself to the committee. Honorable members, order. Order.
Honorable Chair, my name is Patrick Nemo, Chief Director of the Ministry of Trade and Industry.
Honorable Chair, my name is Kosi Yankee Aye, the CEO for Ghana Enterprises Agency.
Honorable Chair, my name is Michael Opoku, Head of PPME at the Ministry of Trade and Industry.
Honorable Chair, my name is Bafo Ekufu Ankama, Director of Finance, Ghana Enterprise Agency.
Honorable Chair, my name is Emmanuel Efrifa, Internal Auditor, Ghana Enterprise Agency.
Honorable Chair, my name is Eric Anthony Afram. I'm the Acting Director, Financial Support Services Directorate of GEA.
Well, thank you for coming. You have one issue in the reports. And paragraph 324 to be taken by Honorable Kofi Adams.
Chairman, thank you very much. I'll be attending security. Good morning and welcome. Please, can I know your current staff strength?
Approximately 500.
Approximately 500. And how many were you as at 2020?
I think it was about 400.
So the report says you were offered some funds to extend to some micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises. Part of it was offered as grant, another part as repayable loans. I next will want to find out
how you determine the businesses that needed the support.
So in the implementation of our program, we set up a technology portal. On that portal, we opened it, because it was COVID, we couldn't go door to door. So we opened it up to Ghanaians and various districts and all regions and all districts. So the portal had a scoring session on it. And so everybody who applied came onto that portal. And it was based on that we chose the businesses and user.
Was the portal nationally characterized or regionally characterized?
It was. So before we designed the program, we looked at the...
It was what?
Sorry?
Nationally or regionally?
It was nationally. Before the design and in the design of the program, we ensured that we used the national population statistic and also that of the economic statistics of the Ghana Statistical Services data. And that is what we use to align the percentages given per region. And so that was the determination of the various regions and districts.
So how did you determine who got grant and who got repayable loan? Or was it a 50-50 for each qualified entity?
So we determined that by the requests. The design of the intervention stated that if you requested or your loan request was 2,000 and below, then it was going to be a grant program. If it was above that and was within there were two programs, as the Adom and Nidaso. If it was above that, then it was in the Nidaso category, which means that it was going to be a loan category.
Was this known to the applicant at the time of the application that if you were below maybe 5,000, it was grant, but then above that will be a loan? Was it known to the applicants?
Yes, it was. It was on the portal. It was in all the information that was shared. You know, we worked through the associations as well, trade associations. So GUTA, ASI, AGI, GNCCI, all the associations. So all the associations were made aware and they went back to sensitize their people.
So it was very highly possible that if I knew I would get 2,500 and I won't pay, and then I get 5,000 and above and I will pay, I will apply for a lower amount, which I know I wasn't going to pay.
No, that wasn't it, because the design was done in such a way that the associations, you know the association. So if someone is at AGI and asks for 2,000, clearly they are lying. If someone is at Head and Tin Tabletop Association, you understand that that is 2,000 and below. So an assessment was done based on that and also what the people were doing. So that was all part of the determinants, and that was also inputted into the system.
What third-party services were rendered for which you had to pay?
So the third-party services that was rendered, because we couldn't have access, we had a technology portal that was brought on board. We also needed to look at the legality of the setup of it. We also had to do some trainings for technical and financial assistance after that. We also, communication at that time as well. Yes, and then also in assessing the companies.
So how did you select these service providers, the third-party service providers? How were they selected?
So they were selected based on those who exist, and then we did an assessment. We brought in support for that. Initially, at that time, when we were doing it before GOG funding, we also had other partners who were coming in, so they had shown what other people had done in other countries, and so we looked at that to determine.
You said you were selected based on those who exist. What do you mean by those who exist? So every service provider that existed in the country was given the chance to provide a service, or what do you mean by those who exist? Those who exist with your agency, or those who existed in the country providing those kind of services?
Those who existed in the country providing those kind of services, and then we contracted them.
So how did you contract them? Did you sole source their services, or you went through a process that could be described as above board?
So what we did at that time, because it was COVID and because of the urgency and the emergency of the project, we did some background assessment before we went to sole source some of these.
Did you seek permission to sole
Yes,
source?
we sought permission for every single procurement that was done.
You have evidence of the...
Yes, we have
granting?
evidence, and we also were audited on it.
Again, did some consultancy service. Who were the consultants?
We use KPMG to validate the authenticity of the data that was coming out, to make sure we were not duplicating payments of the beneficiaries. We also utilized Vodafone. I mean, they were the pay-through to those who had received less than 2,000, because we did not want to hand cash to beneficiaries, and then we also utilized them for that.
So now let's go to staff cost. You indicate as of 2020 you were about 400 and now about 500, meaning you are seeing a certain level of increment. But I see here staff cost in 2020, 944,000, as against 94,000 in 2021 and 4,550 as far as this project is concerned. Why the huge drop in staff costs?
Kindly repeat that again.
Let's look at table. Well, the table is not. That's statement of receipts and payments, page 81, continuing to 82. But of interest to me is page 82 of the report. It gave staff cost for 2020, 944,000. 2021, 94,000. And 2022, 4,500 in relation to the project.
Yes, so it went down because these are the covered funds alone. It doesn't include other funding that we receive. So the COVID funds, majority of it came in 2020. In 2020, the staff cost was higher because they had to do transportation, to do the calls, to do the due diligence. So as the funds waned down, the cost per staff from the project funds also went down.
But you just said you did a lot of online related activity because it was COVID time and there was no need for movement and so on and so forth. And that is why you have third-party services, and which is different from the staff cost, because there's also a third-party service and consultancy cost, separate from staff cost.
Yes, so you are right. But bear in mind that in some of the villages and some of the rural areas, the beneficiaries cannot apply by themselves. So unfortunately or fortunately, our staff in the business advisory centers had to be present to ensure that they were supporting the beneficiaries, so we didn't leave anyone behind. Otherwise, we would have had challenges with some of the districts not being able to get their constituents to apply. So the business advisors were there to provide that support. And also, it was also to reduce the burden of fraud, and also them going to places where it would come back and say that, oh, baby, or we went to pay somewhere. So our staff on the ground in the various districts were there to assist constituents in locations where internet is a problem, where the people couldn't speak English, but we needed that data for our own analysis. Thank you.
But if you've contracted third-party service providers, then wasn't it their responsibility to do this?
No, it's not. It's not their responsibility because there are different levels of the intervention. When you're doing sensitization, it's not third party, and that's why we have the officers at the district level. So they provide that sensitization at that level. The second level is if you've brought people to verify the data, then it's not right for them to input the data. And that data then has to be inputted by the business advisory centers at the district level so that their work would be verified. So all the service providers had their main role, which did not conflict with what the business advisory centers were doing.
So what is the status of that project now?
So the program is still ongoing. We are still collecting for the loan component. We are still doing recoveries.
What's the level of recoveries post this audit? Because the audit doesn't give a good indication that there's still some huge outstanding as at the time of the audit, over 10 million still outstanding. What's the current status?
Please, we have, based on the audit number, the 10.235703 that we were supposed to have collected, we have collected that.
That was then. So as at now, there will be a lot that should be due also. Are you current in terms of the collection?
So we are doing the collections. As at July 2023, we had collected an extra 36,423,000.
Okay. Thank you for your answer. Mr. Chairman, I yield to you.
All right, thank you very much. Ghana Enterprises Agency, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I want to take you through the loan defaulters statement. Paragraph 330 of the report on page 82. The auditors noted that a total amount of 312.1 million was given out to beneficiaries who are medium and small enterprises nationwide at a flat interest rate of 3% to be repaid in 2 years with 1 year moratorium. However, the auditors observed that the beneficiary SMEs could not keep up with the repayment terms, and as a result, owed the scheme an amount of 10.2 million Ghana cedis. They provided the details in the table on regional basis. So the total amount nationwide, that is amount due for payment, is 99.362 million. But the total amount paid by them is 89.127 million. That resulted in the outstanding amount of 10.2 million. Now, I'll take you back to the statement of receipts and payment on page 81 and 82. In the year 2020, you received from Ministry of Finance 450 million Ghana cedis. Then you transfer to MASLOC 8 million, leaving a balance of 442 million Ghana cedis. Now let's go to the next page, the payment part. The staff cost is there, materials and equipment cost is there, third-party service and consultancy is also there, running cost is there. Now, grant disbursed, 194.8 million is also there. Then the loans disbursed, which is repayable, 195.016 million, giving a total of 409 million. So if you take this from the 442 million, there is a balance of 32 million. Now that balance of 32 million is carry forward to 2021, so if you go to the previous page, page 81, you see there 32.8 million. Then you receive additional 150 million from Ministry of Finance. That make 182 million available for your work. Then you transfer 18 million to MASLOC, leaving a balance of 164 million for your disbursement. Now you go to the next page, page 82. For the payment, the staff cost is there, materials and equipment cost is there, third-party service and consultancy cost also there, running costs also there. Then grant disbursed, 8.9 million, it's also there. Loans disbursed, repayable, 115.4 million, giving a total of 129.065 million. That also gives you a fund balance of 35.73 million. 753 million. Now, that becomes the opening balance of 2022, and it is shown on page 81. In the year 2022, you have not received anything from the Ministry of Finance as at the time of the report, which is up to June. So if you receive anything in July, that's different. We are earning it in June. So it's only 35.7 million, which is available to you. And you have transferred 4 million to MASLOC, giving you a balance of 31.753 million. That, come to page 82, we'll follow the procedure again. Then at the end, you have a balance of 26 million. Now my question is, the loan repayment by the people who received the loan, which is 89 million, where is that money?
So the monies are still in our bank accounts.
Why is it not reflected in the statement of receipts and payment?
So I think, if I remember correctly, the audit was focusing on the receipts and payments. So that is why the financials focused specifically on that.
So as at June 2022, that 89 million can be found in your bank account.
So as of that, you know, we work with participating financial institutions.
Yes.
So what we did was that they were the ones who gave recommendations for the businesses, the final recommendations for the businesses we could give the funds to, and then the reconciliation to it was done by KPMG on that. So the reconciliations were ongoing on that. So we do have a fund. So now what we've done is that we started collating the funds to go into one major payment account so that we can have it in one place so that we can utilize it.
Well, I just want to know that the recovery of the loan, the money is there.
Yes, so we never touched it because we had to go and seek approval back from Ministry of Finance to use them.
I'm sure that if you go to that account now, the money will not be 89 million. It will be more than that because there was additional recovery after June 2022.
So there are various accounts. So we've now started collating into one. So there are various accounts. So the total of
will be more than this.
Yes, all our COVID funds would be more than that.
It will be more than this.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that is what I want to be sure of. Okay.
Chairman, thank you very much. CEO, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Why are you giving money to MASLOC? I know it's an agency under trade, and I know that it's under finance. Office of the President. Yes, office of OGM. Now, yes, and I know that the government came to Parliament to convert MBSSI to GEA. So you are set up by an act of Parliament now. So I am worried that funds that are supposed to be utilized for your work, you are giving monies to MASLOC.
On the 9th of October 2020, we received a direction that the MASLOC had applied to the Ministry of Finance to also participate in the disbursement of small loans to provide support to small companies who have also applied to them for business support during the COVID. So we were kindly requested to allocate an amount to them, which we did.
CEO, and this came from where? The Ministry of Finance or?
Yes, sir.
And so your board approve of this decision?
Yes, my board chair's signature. My board chair, the late Honorable Atopan.
Oh, it's okay. Once it's the board. Chairman, I think that we should look at this because GEA has their own mandate. We cannot be giving their money to another entity. Now, if we want to determine how MASLOC apply these monies, the auditors, it means they have to undertake another exercise to be able to inform us. You know, it's a problem. And so we need, yes, the request came from the ministry according to CEO. Yes, and the board sort of agreed and directed. Yes, but we are saying it's wrong. We can't give, every entity is allocated this budget. That is why we are interrogating as to how they apply the funds. Now, we don't know how MASLOC applied the 80 million, the 18 million, and the 4 million. We don't know. So we need to take note of it and give some directions.
Honorable Mutala.
Okay, Madam. If you have agreed to transfer that responsibility to MASLOC, because I do know that what MASLOC is asked to do and the resources provided by you is something that MBSSI used to do. I used to handle it as the Deputy Minister for Trade. Then what then is left for you to do or to work with as an institution? Because that virtually was the core mandate and responsibilities of MBSSI. So if you are now transferring that to MASLOC, because I know the resources you have is always inadequate. The resources to run the agency is always inadequate. Now, if you are now being asked to give such monies to MASLOC, then you'll be stifled the more to run your responsibilities and activities under the MBSSI. So what is then left for you to do?
Honorable, it was a directive at that time because, as you are aware, there are various agencies in Ghana that give similar support to SME development. So we just followed the directive.
Head there, I know you are following directive. Are you pleased with that directive?
I'm Olivia Twist. I always want money. So
no, I'm just asking you. Rankin, I'm asking this question because I know the critical role MBSSI used to play, and I know that the resources have often not been adequate, and the fact that they have been directed to transfer such monies to MASLOC will deny them the responsibility to carry on their activities. Are you comfortable? Be honest.
No, she can.
Madam, don't respond to that question. I think that we need to blame Minister of Finance. If you want to give Ghana Enterprises Agency, give their portion to them. If you want to give MASLOC, give it to them. Don't give to GA and then ask them to transfer some to MASLOC. And you know, the MASLOC one, the processes that is gone through, well, they go to before people benefit. MASLOC, they don't go to those processes. In fact, some were in car boots. Part of the money was in car boot, and we were being shared.
Whose boot?
Car boots.
Whose boot?
Car boots.
Whose boot?
You.
Ah, is that we are talking about Tabaklo?
Honorable Yusuf.
Are you talking about Tabaklo?
Chairman, thank you. Chairman, listening to the conversation, I've gone through this report and I haven't seen anywhere where MASLOC has also been audited. So I think that to be able to know how they also utilize the money that was transferred to them, there will be the need for some audit to be done at MASLOC. That's the first issue. Now my concern is, during COVID, so many government agencies were supposed to support SMEs, and we have just seen it. MASLOC was supporting SMEs, Ministry of Tourism was also supporting, and then GEA was also supporting. How are you able to reconcile to the extent that some SMEs do not get from, let's say, GEA, get from tourism, and also get from MASLOC, when others are struggling to get even one tranche? How are you able to cross-check?
So from our side, that was one of the reasons why we used the technology portal. And that's why we also, because we had various COVID. So that's why we also had someone go through the data to ensure that if you benefited from CABBAS, you did not benefit from any of the COVID funds. So the technology would do a reconciliation before
Your response has to do with internal mechanism you've put in place. You have different products. And so you ensure that one does not get from product A and also benefit from product B. But I'm talking about external checks and balances that you would have put in place to ensure that if I apply to MASLOC and I receive some funding in respect of support, COVID support for SME, I don't come back to GEA, apply and get again when somebody is struggling to get ones. That's my concern. How were you able to work together to ensure that people didn't get multiple support, whilst others didn't get at all? What did you do? And Minister of Finance, you can come in here. What mechanism was put in place to ensure that there were no multiple benefits of some SMEs at the expense of others?
Unfortunately, Honorable Chair, I don't have visibility on the other ministry since I report to the Ministry of Trade and Industry. So I think we are having conversations to see how in the future we'll design a technology portal that speaks to all the agencies and ministries, especially when it comes to funding.
So, Minister of Finance, if I were to suggest, in the banking sector, when you take a loan from Bank A and you go to Bank B and you want to take a loan, the bank is able to cross-check to know whether or not you've taken loan from Bank A, so that they're able to do their credit appraisals very well. If you wouldn't mind, or my recommendation is that you have a platform where all these agencies that you give monies to are hooked onto, so that when they give out either grant or loan, they upload this on this platform. And this is accessible to the other agencies, so that while they do their appraisal, they're able to tap into this platform to determine whether or not somebody has received support or not. If we do that, many more Ghanaians will benefit, rather than the situation in which we find ourselves, where one person can get 3-4 times at the expense of others. I humbly submit.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Honorable Member. I think the head of CEO of GE has explained that we'll be working together to find a way of harmonizing all these things and looking at. I think the suggestion of a platform is very, very welcome. I think there's already some work going on in that direction. So thank you very much for the suggestion. It's well noted. Thank you.
Chairman, thank you very much. Chairman, let me use the opportunity to commend the CEO for her work. Just a while ago, other statutory heads came here They told us because of the exigencies of the times, public monies were expended without recourse to due procedure. And I'm impressed about how she's able to go through due diligence, did everything according to the book. And we should commend public officers when they do this, even under extreme exigencies. So I want to commend you, Madam CEO, and others should learn from your work. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, thank you very much for the kind words. My team and I are very grateful.
Honorable Frida.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's a mark of a woman, And let me also commend her for. That will bring Sedina Tamakula as well. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for drawing our attention to the fact that we are here for a different purpose. I also want to commend the Chief Executive. I'm looking at your recovery rate. That's my first question. I just want to know the level of the recovery rate now, because initially you had recovered about 10 million. You just told us you've covered additional 36 million. Within the space of time, how much more have you recovered? That's my first question. Mr. Chairman, I want to find out what the contention on the MASLOC thing is all about, because I believe the Chief Executive acted upon directions and approval by the board. And during the COVID, we are talking about COVID funds. So other agencies, individuals, institutions applied for some of the COVID fund. So MASLOC also applied. And I believe through the Ministry of Finance, it went to the board, they approved. And she disbursed it. I want to find out how much was given to MASLOC, whether they took it as a loan, and what is the...
Madam, is it a question?
Yes.
Here we ask questions.
Yes.
So the question is becoming too long.
No,
Just
I asked
make
the first question. I commended her and asked her of the recovery rate.
Make it brief.
That's the first one.
Make it brief.
And the second one, I want to find out exactly how much was allocated to MASLOC and at what rate and what has been the recovery.
It's 30 million.
What has
It's
been
in the report.
recovery?
30 million.
Yes.
Page 81. You can see it, page 81.
Yes. Chairman, initially, I wanted to find out exactly what the contention was.
Okay.
Yes.
Madam, can you
Because
respond?
she acted upon directives from the Ministry of Finance. And
What is the directive? Are you supposed to give it to MASLOC free, or is a loan to them?
It said to allocate, so we just gave it to them.
So it's free. So let me ask the auditors.
Chairman, it's not free. It's supposed to be given to MASLOC,
No.
so that they can
No,
loan it.
What I mean
They
is,
can
what I mean is
outloan
that
it. So it's
no,
not free.
No, what I mean is that MASLOC is not going to pay the money back to GE. That is what I mean.
But the money, all the money belongs to government. So
So MASLOC will also disburse.
yes, that's all.
Why shouldn't the Ministry of Finance do the disbursement directly to MASLOC?
Chairman, but you have talked about this already. So
If you are defending that MASLOC will also disburse, and I'm saying that why...
I'm not defending.
why
I'm just explaining, Chairman.
Auditors, you have seen this money allocated to MASLOC, and it's a COVID money. Did you do a follow-up to MASLOC to confirm that they have received the money and also audit how they spend it or how they also disburse it?
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Chair. We actually cited the receipt from MASLOC that the money has been received. And it was also, identified that MASLOC also did disbursement to certain beneficiaries. Thank you.
Did you audit them? What is the recovery rate at MASLOC?
Honorable Chair, MASLOC one was not a loan, actually. It was sort of a grant to them.
To the recipient, the beneficiary?
Recipient, yes, sir, recipient.
The
Yes,
party
Honorable.
people? Honorable Yusuf.
Chairman, I want to find out from the auditors whether you were able to get a list of the beneficiaries. Because if you say it's grants, that's not a problem, but you should be able to ascertain the people who receive the benefit. This is very important. Were you able to do that? Because the CEO here is giving us details, and me, I say it as it is. The last time we requested for even details of her work, she was able to bring it to our committee. And so, same way, can we get a list of those who benefited from this grant at the MASLOC level? Thank you.
Honorable Chair, MASLOC is audited by one of our departments. That is the Commercial Audit Department. We'll do a follow-up and see whether they have done an audit and whether this issue has come up.
No, but I understand this is COVID funds that you were supposed to audit. And so wherever you smell COVID fund, you went there and you audited it. Didn't you smell you didn't smell COVID funds at MASLOC? Is that what you're saying?
And get infected.
Eh?
Mr. Chairman, just as I said, we'll get back to you on this matter. We have a department that audits MASLOC, the Commercial Audit Department. We'll follow up to find out whether indeed they have done that audit and the findings that they have come across. So we'll get back to you on that
So
matter.
is your colleague withdrawing the first answer he gave? Because he said they did a follow-up, they realized that MASLOC received the money, and they have also disbursed. I asked of the recovery rates, and he said that money is free. That's what he said. Is he withdrawing that statement?
Mr. Chairman, the amount was allocated to them, but as to how they applied it, that is what we are saying, that we'll find out from the Commercial Audit Department and then provide the feedback to the committee.
Michael, I'm saying that what you have said, I've taken it on board. But your colleague earlier have made a statement that the money was disbursed by MASLOC. I asked of recovery rates, and he said that one is free. Is he withdrawing that portion? If not, we are going to write on that. That MASLOC received 30 million from Ghana Enterprises Agency, and they disbursed the money free of charge to people. That's what we are going to write. And it's coming from the auditors.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I will get the list for the committee as soon as possible. Thank you.
Which list?
The beneficiary list.
The free one?
The grant.
A grant is free. We know MASLOC is not supposed to give money to people free. It's a loan they also give, and they recover. But you are telling this committee that you give us a list of beneficiaries who receive the money for free. It's a grant. Is that what you're saying? So that we'll wait for that list.
Honorable Chair, it was an allocation to MASLOC. Thank you.
We got that portion. Allocation of 30 million in the tranches of 8, 18, and 4. 30 million from Ghana Enterprises Agency to MASLOC. How they disburse that money is the issue we are discussing.
Honorable Chair, I would draw the word free, and I would provide the list, and they also confirm whether or not it was a loan or a grant. Thank you.
When can you do that for us?
Honorable Chair, next week.
Okay, we'll give you 1 week to do that for us.
Chairman, I am okay.
Honorable Johnson.
Chairman, I just want to find out. About 2 weeks ago, the president launched 8.2 billion Ghana cedis SMA Go. I want to find out if this money is coming to GA or.
It's the program is between three main entities, so it would be shared, not equally, but it would be shared amongst.
Which are the agencies?
I think DBG is also implementing the SME growth, Exim Bank, and then Ghana Enterprises Agency.
Chairman, I'm satisfied. Thank you.
Honorable Afrifa.
Chairman, thank you. I'm going back to the auditors with the question you asked them. I want to know from them if they have done audit on the amount of money released to MASLOC. If they have done audit on that. Because one person is saying yes, the other person is saying that the audit is done by the commercial department of Ghana Audit Service, and they will go and take the report from them. So I just want to know if there have been an audit on that amount of money sent to them. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, we followed up to MASLOC. There was no report on it. That is why we did not incorporate that one in this particular report. So what we agreed on was at the meeting that we had, that since we didn't have any report on it, we see that one to the commercial audit people, because that is their remit. And then when they do it, it will also come to Parliament. So that is why we don't have MASLOC in this particular report. But we did a follow-up to see if indeed they received the amount transferred from the Ghana Enterprise Agency to them. And that we confirm.
Thank you. You did a follow-up to MASLOC. You didn't do any audit on the amount of money that they received. Did you do audit on it?
Honorable member, they said that they have not done the audit on it.
So fair is your other colleague saying that there is a list of beneficiaries. The amount was a grant, free money to some people. From the way he's speaking, it means that they have done an audit on it. He hasn't withdrawn it. He said he's going to provide a list next week. It hasn't been withdrawn. No, Honorable.
The free aspect. He has taken that one back.
No, when he says that, Chairman, he said that.
Honorable, I think that you made your point. You are perfectly right. But he has withdrawn the free portion. He also promised that he's going to give us the list next week. So your concern is that he is not an employee of MASLOC. How is he going to get a list? Maybe that is your question. How is he going to get a list? Because you get a list next week. He's not an employee of MASLOC.
No, Chairman, he can only get the list of beneficiaries if he had conducted an audit on MASLOC.
No, that is not. You don't know how he can get it.
Master, are you a magician? How will you get it? No, but no. Yeah,
Order. We don't do that in here. Honorable member, we don't do that in here.
I am on the floor.
You're on the floor. So the member who is talking without the mic is the one I'm talking to. You are on the floor.
I just want the auditors to give us a clear explanation on the amount of money that was transferred to MASLOC. There hasn't been an audit on it. That one you have established. But your other colleague is insisting that he has a list on the beneficiaries. I have been an auditor before. If you haven't audited an organization, You can't get any information on that organization. So please let us know. Have you done an audit? Did you follow up? You were supposed to work on GEA. You did it. There was amount of money to MASLOC. You did the follow up. You didn't do any audit on it. But you are saying, yes, even though you said you've withdrawn, it was a free money to, and then it is being interpreted that it was distributed to party people. That's why we are challenging all those things. So if you haven't done an audit on it, how did you know that it was a grant and has been, and that you will be able to provide us a list next week? Thank you, Chairman.
Honorable Chair, thank you. Actually, like I said earlier on, when we saw the transfer to MASLOC, we recited the receipt acknowledging the amount from MASLOC. We followed up to MASLOC. And then I'm sure the list, as I'm saying, it's not that it should be in my working papers. So I have to go back in my working papers and not really auditing. We will obtain the list.
No, you can't get working papers when you haven't audited an organization. You cannot get working papers.
Honorable Afrifa, you are perfectly right. Maybe they have done the audit, but they don't want to tell us.
What?
Yes, maybe
if you have done the audit, we need a report because you have
They really want to tell us. Auditors, you're not giving a painting good picture for us this time round. Honorable Mutala.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, it is very clear that the earlier information given by the auditor, he had to change that information under duress. And I say so because upon several insistence, he stood his grounds and he was not prepared to withdraw. He wasn't. It is very clear to those watching from home that he was telling us the truth, and the truth was that the money was free money. Now, if you are now withdrawing, and say, so that's what I'm saying, that if you are now withdrawing, it means that you would have had some information that it wasn't free money. That is why you are now withdrawing that it wasn't free money. Then you should be able to tell this committee whether a proper auditing was done on it or not, and as to whether there were interest or there was any interest with regards to the monies that were given, because MASLOC's money is not free. They give you a very minimal interest, but it is not free. Some people have been prosecuted because of monies disbursed to the people of this country. And therefore, you should be able to tell us the truth. And mind you, when you appear before this committee, you are taken through an oath. And if you lie under oath, it's perjury. It is. And that is one thing that we all need to take serious. So I am very convinced that you were telling us the truth. The money was actually given. It was free money. And we have instances where you have a parliamentary candidate. Oh, please, it's a fact. A parliamentary candidate who is also a regional vice chair, who said that monies were given to them, COVID money. Monies were given to them as executive. Oh, please. I am saying that it's a statement of, Mr. Chairman, will you tell them? Let me land. It is only the chairman who, Mr. Chairman, I mean, the way they are behaving is not right.
Please, Mutala, we don't want to turn this committee into allegations and propaganda committee. It was said somewhere. We are not talking about what is not here. Please. Don't belittle this committee. What you are doing.
Please, don't use the word don't belittle.
It's okay. Yes. It's okay.
Chairman, I can understand that old ladies get worried when dry bones are mentioned. So I can understand.
Again, Mutala, please. Mutala, the chairman has ruled on this matter. The chairman has ruled on this matter.
Granted.
So I wish you put an end to this matter.
No, I'm not going there. So.
No, the chairman has ruled that he should bring that the list within a week.
And we want to recommend that the list should include amount and then also contact numbers.
Please. Please, please. You see, we are being watched. Colleagues, listen to me. We are being watched by the whole country. So we should be seen to be doing the work that we have in this report. We should not, we all have issues we can bring in politically or whatever, but we are not supposed to do that. So I beg you.
So, Mr. Chairman, can I proceed with my points? In any case, Mr. Chairman.
You can conclude.
I should conclude?
Yes.
Okay. So it's just worrying. One of the reasons why I think that we have chairs and rankings in meetings such as this is that only they are clothed with the authority to determine who speaks at any point in time. And therefore, when the chairman gives anybody the opportunity to make his point, discomforting as the points he's making may be to you, I think we need to respect the chair and allow the chair, if he deems it fit for me to continue making the statements I'm making, you allow me to make. But this idea of as if we are in a wrestling match, frankly speaking, it doesn't agar well. That I'll conclude with a proverb. There is a popular northern proverb. There's a popular northern proverb that if you are in the center of the market and they are shouting, someone has stolen saltpeter, and the entire market, only you started running away, they will know who the thief is.
So who is a thief here? Who is a thief?
It's a proverb that is subjected to several interpretations.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's end this one.
Okay, last one from Ache, but only 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Yes, Chairman.
I mean 2 minutes.
Yeah, Chairman, I thank you that this matter has been thoroughly interrogated. I just want to advise the auditors that we are all public officers. Matters like this, you don't have control over how MASLOC works. So just assure the committee that you go back, put your house in order, and come back. So you avoid all these, contra submissions. So please, you go back, do what you have to do so that it can complement the work you did on GA. Then we can close the chapter on that. When we are reporting back to the House, we know how to report the issue. So the 30 million, let's have the detailed information on the utilization. Then we can conclude our report on that. Chairman, that's all that I want to say on this matter.
Thank you very much. That will be all for Ghana Enterprises Agency. You are discharged.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Now we are back to Ministry of Finance. We ask you to come along with the Ministry of Communication. So we have the Ministry of Communication. They should come and take the oath. And then Ministry of Finance, reposition yourself to the front.
I,
Alexander Alfo,
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
touching the matter in issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
So help me God.
Yes, kindly introduce yourself to the committee.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is Alexander Yao Afo, Chief Director, Ministry of Communications and Digitalization. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is Richard Ochifusu, the Director General for NITA, National Information Technology Agency.
Thank you very much for coming. we, as a committee looking into the report of the Auditor General on COVID expenditure, yesterday, there was a need for the Ministry of Communication to come and explain certain issues to the committee. So we want the Ministry of Finance to bring you today. You are welcome. The issue is on the failure to withhold tax on payment to Smart Infraco Limited, 1.7 million Ghana cedis. The auditors observed that you made a payment, the ministry made a payment of 23.388 million to Smart Infraco Limited without withholding tax amounting to 1.7 million. The Minister of Finance explained to the auditors that the amount 23.388 million was part payment to Smart Infraco Limited. And therefore, the total tax on the contract sum will be deducted from subsequent payment to the Smart Infraco Limited. Upon further questioning, the ministry indicated that it is only the Ministry of Communication that can explain the issue better. Can you tell this committee what is the nature of these contracts that was given to Smart Infraco Limited?
Honorable Chair, with your permission, I want the Director General to speak to the issues.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The contract was for 6 months to enable public servants. Let me go back. There's a particular product, a platform that public servants use. It's called Smart Workplace. Smart Workplace initially was designed for workers to come to the office and use it. It's cloud-based. So when you are working from home, what we found during the COVID time was that government workers or civil servants, public servants, were contending that, well, I'm not going to use my purchase data, my data bundle, to be able to do this work. So we were called into a meeting, and we were told to find a solution to this. And that solution was to actually sponsor the data, i.e. make the data free for any public servant who is accessing the Smart Workplace platform to be able to do that. So we did that. So the contract involved the sponsored data, audio conferencing, fixed to mobile convergence. So sometimes in some government agencies, you have a fixed line. Now, these fixed line calls will now be transferred to a mobile line for call centers, for example. So that was the contract, to allow government workers to be able to work from home and access the Smart Workplace platform. Those who didn't have smart phones, for example, or a 2G phone, could now do audio conference that could have about 50 recipients join them on a call. So that was what that contract was for.
Does the contract involve provision of any working tablets?
No, sir.
What is the total contract sum?
16,929,000.
Speak to the mic so that we can record you well.
Sorry, 16,929,000. For 6 months. It was a 6 months contract.
16,929,000 $29,000 what? Dollars. 60,929,000 US dollars for 6 months. What processes were gone through to award the contract to Smart Infraco Limited?
Mr. Chairman, Smart Infraco is the technical partner that government has procured for NITA. They run the National Data Center, the other Eastern Corridor Fiber, and the LTE. So when this thing happened, the COVID happened, and we were called in to do this, they stepped in and worked on the solution.
How were they procured?
Because it was in the height of COVID, we were asked to find a solution. The solution was done, and we went to PPA later to have it rationalized. So we were told, NITA and your technical partners, find a solution for this situation. So that is how, I wouldn't even say it's a procurement thing per se, in the sense that we had to do the work, and they were our technical partners. They came in, and we also rationalized it with PPA.
So you wrote to PPA to approve or to ratify?
Sir, we ratified.
You ratified?
Yes,
When
please.
did you write to PPA?
Well, when in the height of the COVID, we needed to find solution to get government working. We did the work, and in so doing, our attention was drawn that, look, PPA has not been informed, so we informed PPA that this is what we are doing, and they asked us, okay, we understand it's COVID, this is the situation, but you have to ratify it, which we went through that process.
I want to know when you wrote to PPA for this. I want dates, specific dates.
So I'm trying to, the date here looks, can you read it? It looks 27th. Stella, can you read this date for us, please? I can't remember when, but that's their response. No, it won't be 2024. Mr. Chair, I have a letter from PPA here, but the reproduction or the copy is a bit faint. I'm struggling to read it. But your question is, when did we write to PPA?
The question is, when did you write to PPA?
So permit me to furnish the committee with that information, because I don't have my letter to PPA here, but I do have PPA's response to my
But PPA
letter.
made a reference to your date of your letter.
And I'm saying that the reproduction, the photocopy, is also not very good, and I don't have my glasses, but if somebody can read it. That's what you are saying. That's referencing our letter. Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Please permit me to provide that, furnish the committee with that information. The reproduction is not very good here. So
you can't see the date in that letter, the PPA's letter?
No, not really. Let me find my
How about the date of the PPA's letter itself?
20, I see 27.
Is that letter not from PPA to you, your office?
Yes, it is. I'm just saying.
Why are you talking about reproduction? Why don't you just pull the original and bring here to come and make reference to?
Mr. Chair, we were told yesterday late afternoon that we have to be here.
Yes. So, which letter did you reproduce?
So I asked my PA to get me the contract documents.
Yes.
So I have a photocopy here.
And I'm saying that
very clear.
PPA wrote to you.
Yes, please.
So you have the original of the PPA letter.
Correct.
Is that what you reproduce?
That's what was photocopied here. So I will look for the original and bring it. That's the point I'm making, Mr. Chairman.
No. Do you have contract with eSolution Consulting Limited?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
What are they supposed to do?
eSolutions Consulting are the intellectual property owners of the Smart Workplace platform. So the Smart Workplace platform belongs to eSolutions.
Yeah.
That is their
so
product.
eSolution is the intellectual property owner of the Smart platform.
Smart Workplace platform.
Smart Workplace.
Yes, please.
And you have a contract with them?
Government has a contract with them for that, yes.
To do what? To do what?
For the procurement of the system. So it allows government workers to work from any time, any place, anywhere to access Microsoft Office, email. We've been saying that government workers should not use private email, so that's they get email through that. Also, we've used workflows to automate a lot of manual processes within organizations. So that is what the product is used for.
So any government worker can have access to that platform anywhere they are?
Sir, we've signed up many MDAs and MMDAs. Yes, they are using it currently.
Even at home?
I use it at home, anywhere, any place, anytime. Yes, please.
Then what service is the Smart Infraco providing?
Okay.
If eSolution is providing that facility, then what is Smart Infraco doing?
Sir, with your permission, that's what I tried to explain in the beginning of my submission. eSolutions has developed a product. The product is called Smart Workplace. It is a cloud-based product. So you must, initially, it was meant for you to be in the office where you have internet to access it. Now,
I just ask you say anywhere.
No,
you
no,
told
so,
me anywhere.
No, so bear with me. So
Okay.
I'm saying that before COVID, people will come to their office and they use the Smart Workplace. When COVID happened, there was a directive that, and there was a lockdown, we should work from, people were not supposed to come and work from home. So we were actually called to find a solution to this. Then we find out we have a product, Smart Workplace. But that Smart Place, people cannot use it at their home without having to get onto the internet, onto the cloud to use it. And this is what brought the value addition contract that Smart Infraco and ourselves put together. I hope I've made my, because Smart Workplace on its own, you cannot use it without the internet. I hope I've made myself a bit clear. So you needed the internet to be able to access it. So therefore, we contacted, during COVID, we contacted Public Services Commission, Head of Civil Service, SIGA, to attain or get the list of workers, because we were struggling to get it. So they assisted us. We got the list of workers within organizations, and we white labeled their number and sponsored their number so they can come to their Smart Workplace platform and work. I hope I've explained. There are two differences. The Smart confuses people.
The contract you have with eSolution is a Microsoft license excluding taxes. That is one of the services they are providing. As you said earlier on, that they hold the license. Then you also have, as one of their work to do, is deployment of smart workplace solutions. Then annual support and maintenance. All these are contracts you have with e-solution. Is that the case?
Sir, the smart workplace platform is based on Microsoft technologies. So in there, you are using Microsoft Office. You need licenses for it. There's SharePoint. There's Exchange or email. So all this is a license that smart e-solutions would have to procure from Microsoft in order for us to be able to use the smart workplace service. So you are right. Those are there's license. Then we have to deploy the smart workplace in all the government agencies. And then there's support and maintenance for that product.
Yeah, so that is the contract you have, the e-solution.
E-solutions.
Then you decide to give another contract to Smart Infraco to provide smart workplace solution, value addition. What is the value addition?
So this is why I said that the contract that was given to Smart Infraco, forgive me, the smart is too much and I think it confuses people. The contract we gave to Smart Infraco was to provide, that's why it's called Smart Infraco, Smart Workplace Value Addition, was to provide the ability for government workers to work from home. We sponsored the data, we did audio conferences, fixed to mobile convergence. So the contract was not for Smart Workplace. Smart Workplace is somebody's product, but that product will not work for me sitting at home to be able to access it. I needed internet, one. And if I'm working for government, I'm saying I'm not using my bundle data to work, then we needed to be able to allow me to be able to use the internet to access that smart workplace platform. So that is the value addition Smart Infraco provided.
Why didn't you give that job to the e-solution who owns a platform to provide that additional value addition, if that is what you're saying is the case?
So e-solutions is not a communications company. They are a software development company, and I'm very proud of them. It's a Ghanaian, our own Ghanaian company who did that. So they develop software. Smart Infraco is a communications company. So they provision that sponsored data to be able to allow you to work. So that's why the contract was not given to e-solutions to work on it.
Now, let me refer you to the date that you wrote a letter to PPA. You wrote to PPA on the 18th of January 2020, asking for that request for ratification for 300 and approval for remaining 200 government agencies implementation of smart workplace solution for the government of Ghana, licenses, deployment, support, and maintenance. That is the date, January 2020. How did you know that COVID will come to Ghana in March 2020 and you were preparing for a smart workplace value addition and asking PPA to rectify and approve for you to procure these services?
Mr. Chair, I think the e-solutions contract itself, though initially it was piloted by Cabinet Secretariat, and others. And when COVID happened, they decided that we should deploy it across. That contract itself had not gone through PPA. So I think this was a retrospective way of Smart Workplace, the product. Okay? So I think that is what it is. And then I can't see my document very well, but I do know that our attention was drawn that even the Smart Workplace platform itself had not gone through PPA. Even though government during COVID, they said, let's use it. Government has started using it through cabinet. So I think this was to ratify the product itself, not the smart infraco or value addition. I need to see my documents well, the original, but I think that is what it is.
The letter you wrote to PPA, which PPA responded to you, have quoted the Smart Infraco Limited in it. They've quoted a Smart Infraco. So you cannot say that the request to PPA was limited to only the e-solution for the Smart Workplace. Because the letter of PPA quoted the value addition which was given to Infraco.
Mr. Chair, kindly permit me to go and look at the originals, but I think there was a retrospective for the product, and I need to find out, because I'm not 100% sure, based on the PPA letter, a photocopy that I even have here, that it was NITA that wrote or was the ministry. I just need to check my originals. And because we had to do a retrospective thing with PPA. So kindly permit me to find that information and present it to the committee. But the clarity is that one is a product, one is a service, to allow the product to work.
Well, if we don't mind, I can read my letter. I can read it to you.
Yes, please. Please go ahead.
This is a letter from Public Procurement Authority. It is addressed to the Honorable Minister, Ministry of Communications.
Okay. So it appears that it's the ministry that wrote, not NITA. That's what I'm trying to, because I'm trying to look
Yeah,
at
of course.
But go
Of
ahead.
course. The
Please go
question, I directed the question to the Chief Director of Ministry of Communication, and he asked you to respond. So I'm dealing with the ministry. The heading is request for ratification for 300 and approval for remaining 200 government agencies, implementation of smart workplace solution for the government of Ghana, licenses, deployment, support, and maintenance. That's the heading. We may reference to your letter number SCR/HA.4/211/14A, dated 18th January 2020, on the subjects above. At the Board Technical Committee meeting number 58, into bracket 058/21, held on Tuesday, 27th January 2021, the board reviewed your request and ratified your unauthorized use of the single source procurement method for the engagement of Misuse eSolutions Consulting Limited and Misuse Smart Infraco Limited for the procurement of Microsoft licenses, deployment of Smart Workplace, annual support and maintenance for the Smart Workplace for 300 number agencies and institutions at a total cost of $31.595 million, with a breakdown as follows. 1. Microsoft licenses excluding taxes, $7.9 million. The supplier is eSolutions Consulting Limited, Microsoft partner. 2. Deployment of smart workplace solution. The amount, $10.6 million. Supplier, eSolutions Consulting Limited. 3. Annual support and maintenance, smart workplace solutions, $318,937. Supplier, eSolutions Consulting Limited, NITA. 4. Smart workplace solution, value added services. The amount, $12.676 million. Supplier, Smart Infraco Limited. Then he continued. The board also granted approval to Ministry of Communication in line with Section 41B of Act 63 as amended to use the single source procurement method for the engagement of Michelle's eSolutions Consulting Limited and Michelle's Infraco Limited to deploy goods and technical services for number 200 government institutions and agencies due to the upsurge of COVID-19 related cases, as per the breakdown below. That's table 2. 1. Annual support maintenance, smart workplace solutions. The amount is $212,625. Supplier, eSolutions Consulting Limited, NITA. And 2, Smart Workplace Solution Value Added Services, $4,252,500. Supplier, Smart Infraco Limited. Please be advised that this approval is subject to the Chief of Staff's directive on new contracts issued on 21st, new directive, Chief of Staff directive on new contract issued on 21st December 2020 and referred, the number is there, very long number. You are therefore required to seek the express approval of the Chief of Staff prior to the award of these contracts. Please be advised that this approval is valid up to 31st December 2021. However, you are advised to seek the technical assistance from PPA under urgent circumstances. Please ensure that all documentation regarding this procurement is appropriately kept to facilitate future procurement and tax audits. And also, you are reminded to post the contract award notice on the public procurement website. And it's quoted, "We count on your usual cooperation." Signed, Frank Mante, Acting Chief Executive. So, the letter from PPA clearly shows that your request dated on 18th January 2020 was a request for contract to both Michelle's eSolutions Consulting Limited and Michelle's Smart Infraco Limited. So my question is still relevant, that as of January 2020, where not a single COVID was reported in Ghana, how come you foresaw there would be the need for a workplace of this nature, for which you are asking PPA to grant you the permission to award this contract to them?
Mr. Chair, as I indicated, Cabinet Secretariat was actually piloting Smart Workplace before COVID happened. So the product was known in the system. So a decision was made when COVID happened that we should now deploy.
So it was not due to the exigencies of the times.
No. So I'm
So it was not due to the exigencies of the time.
It was because when COVID happened, then the exigencies of the time happened that we had to deploy it to all government workers. But what I'm saying so doing the retrospective, you have to appreciate that the product was known before COVID happened. That's the point I'm trying to make. And then when COVID
let
happened,
me guide you again. It's not retrospect, it's ratification.
Okay, that's fine.
It's ratification.
That's fine. So it's not as if Smart Workplace just came after COVID. What I'm trying to say is that Smart Workplace was known in the system. Cabinet Secretariat was actually piloting it. They were using it. So when COVID happened, I was given an instruction. Cabinet says we should use this product for all public servants. So then we had to now take a product and deploy it into government agencies. And hence, I think the ratification, because proper procurement was not done at the time because COVID happened. So we had to find a solution for government workers to work.
No.
So
Director General.
Yes, sir.
You are not answering my question. My question is that
yes,
if Cabinet Secretariat was using this workplace on pilot basis, and there was a need to extend it to other government agencies, that was the portion being handled by e-solutions, government agencies. It was when COVID came and there was a need to work from home. That is why, according to you, you have the portion that Smart Infraco has added, which is the value added one you are talking about. My question again is that in January 2020, how did you know that there will be COVID, people will be working at home, and value addition is needed for this platform? That is my question.
Mr. Chair, I'm trying to think of the date. Because this product is a cloud-based product, you cannot, if you can't come to your office where there's free internet to use it, you cannot use it. So even Cabinet Secretariat would have come to Cabinet, there will be internet for them to be able to use it. In the absence of that, and when COVID happened, so probably it is assumed that we would have to, if we are going to use it remotely, we will have to have, so Smart Infraco is almost like NITA because it's the government that has procured Smart Infraco to work with NITA. So we have to find a solution to work remotely. It's not, I'm trying to think.
No, the idea of working at home came after COVID.
No, you see.
You said it in your presentation that when COVID happened, there was a need to work at home and people cannot use their data and blah, blah, blah. And that is why Smart Infraco had to come in. So initially, it is the e-solution that was providing the platform, the workplace. But with COVID, people cannot come to the office and use the facility, but they can use it using the cloud and work from home. That is why value addition comes in, and that is why Smart Infraco comes in. My question is, in January, when there was no COVID, where did the idea of working at home come from for you to be applied to PPA to allow you to engage Smart Infraco to provide that facility?
Mr. Chair, as I sit here, I'm trying to reconcile the dates, and I cannot sit here and reconcile it for you. But what I can tell you is that the product was made in general for office use. But there are people who also work from home. Emails, you can use email not necessarily from home, right? So I'm sure, I'm just trying to think, because I started NITA in 2020. So I was also very new to the agency. So I am sure the thinking would be that if we need to put in solutions to be able to allow people to...
Did you say you started NITA?
Yes. No, I didn't. Sorry,
Yeah,
what I meant...
So language, please.
Sorry, I beg you.
So take your time. Oh, you mean to say when you started at NITA?
I joined NITA in 2022, pardon me. I became the Director General in 2020. NITA was established in 2018 by an act of parliament. So forgive me for that. So when, I'm sure at that time they were thinking, well, if people need to check email, remote access would be necessary. So honestly, I'm speaking, when I speak about generally, when COVID happened and we turned the product out to the masses, that is what happened. So probably, in retrospect, they knew that they would use it remotely, right? That's all I can say to that.
Yeah, Chairman, let me ask him a question. Was it possible? I mean, looking at what is going on, my view is that this expenditure cannot be classified as COVID related. Would you agree with me? From what you have said so far.
I agree. And in fact, Mr. Chair,
you agree that it's not COVID related?
No, let me clarify. It is COVID related because it was the general product was used by the masses around COVID. But
no, you started using this product before COVID.
No.
On pilot basis.
Pilot basis.
And then
Cabinet Secretary.
You decided to extend it to other MDAs. But I just want you to accept that this could not have been COVID related. The decision to extend it was not because of COVID. But maybe it was a good product you wanted others to have. Don't you agree with me?
Mr. Chair, there's a possibility. It was an excellent product. I've even said it here. Smart Chairman, Workplace is an excellent product.
Chairman, I'm okay.
But the point is, it's a good product, but when COVID happened, we really saw the usefulness of that product.
Chairman, thank you very much. Director General, I think you take this committee for granted. That's your first error. You assume that we are not on top of our job. So you came here with a document, you're unable, the date is there, but you are unable to reference it for us. And you pretended that it was a photocopy, it wasn't clear. You come to Parliament with a photocopy of a document that is not clear. Here you were ready to speak to it. Until we have to pull out a replica of what you have. So you take the committee for granted. That's my first observation about your submissions. Because clearly, you're also evasive. Yes, you are evasive. If you are not evasive, you should be able to tell the committee that from the date of the documents, clearly we initiated the process when COVID had not been declared. Then we set the tone for the discussions. But you are insisting that you began the process and deployed the platform during COVID. So the documents are speaking to evidence to point to the fact that this cannot be labeled as a COVID expenditure. It is that simple. And if you don't agree with that, then we have a problem. But you submitted to the auditors that it was a COVID expenditure. And it is the date that is undoing you and Nita. Now, I want to ask, like Chairman asked, what exactly is the content of what you label euphemistically as value addition? Value addition. What euphemistically, what does that mean?
Sir, Mr. Chair, value addition in this context was to provision of sponsored data. In fact, sponsored data, fixed to mobile convergence, audio conferencing, and these were the stuff that we did. We provision under this particular service. So value
and this was what Smart Infraco provided.
Yes, please.
So why couldn't we simply have stated that Smart Infraco provided the following services, data, A, B, C, D? Why do we have to say value addition?
Oh, Mr. Chair, I think in the documents and presentations during the COVID meetings at Ministry of Finance, we broke down the services. It is very clear. It's in documentations and presentation what the value addition
documentations is. Before which we are interrogating an audit report. So if you had any document, hold on. If you have any documents to rely on, it was your duty to make those documents available to the committee.
Mr. Chair.
And not reference me to some presentation you did during COVID.
Mr. Chair, I got this call very late yesterday.
So are you prepared to hold on, DG?
Yeah.
If you are not prepared to speak to the committee on the matter, you can say so. That you should be given another time to put your house in order and come back. That's all you must do.
Mr. Chair, I was told by our colleagues from finance that we needed to be here.
DG, please.
Today at 9 a.m.
DG, please listen to me. Take a cue. You are a high-ranking public officer, and these matters are on record, and they are live. And I'm sure that coordinating director of Ministry of Finance, if she didn't have sufficient information, I don't think she would have been here. She would have rescheduled. So if you don't have sufficient information, reschedule, put your house in order, and come and speak to the matters. That's what we expect, first of all, from our public officers. If imagine you come before this committee and we are haphazard, we don't know what we are about, you would have gone to criticize us. So we must all do our duty effectively, efficiently, under the law. So if you don't have all the facts and documents, plead with the chairman of the committee. We reschedule public officers all the time. So you don't say things as if you don't know what you are doing. Please.
All right. Dajifa.
Chairman, thank you very much. Roxanne actually just took the wind out of my sail. It was beginning to look as if the DG was not prepared in coming to meet this committee. And the picture you are painting is not looking good. So I was going to request, respectfully, Chair, that you discharge him so that he can go and put his house in order, as Roxanne has said, and come back properly to this house. I'm sorry, but don't take it on the wrong side, but I was feeling disrespected by the way in which you were going about it. In one breath, you said you couldn't read. As soon as Roxanne made a comment, you were able to read that to us. And I drew my sister's attention. He can't read. Why is he now reading? You see? So I think that to be fair to yourself and to us, you need to come properly. And you may also join me in requesting from the chairman to allow you to be discharged for now. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much. I'm sure the ministry is taking note of this, but I have some few requests also to make, which you must add to the outstanding issues so that when we give you date to come, you come prepared with those information. The first one is that you mentioned that eSolution is a Ghanaian company. We didn't allow you to finish, but at least we know that it's a Ghanaian company. Is it a properly registered company in Ghana or is an SPV?
eSolutions is a properly registered company, sir.
What of the Smart Infraco? Is it an SPV or also registered?
Smart Infraco is an SPV.
An SPV?
Yes, please.
Who are the owners of the Smart Infraco?
I think this SPV, Mr. Chair, the SPV, this was the original commercialization contract that Labara was involved in, which I think it turned into an SPV.
So it was taken from Labara and given to Smart Infraco?
Oh, I'm not saying that, Mr. Chair.
So who is the owner of the Smart Infraco?
Mr. Chair, I just know that the technical people that are...
You know the eSolution, you were trying to praise that it's a Ghanaian company, but this one, you are finding it difficult to tell us.
Oh, no, it's also... Smart Infraco is a Ghanaian company.
Has it got anything to do with Kelly GVG?
Not that I know of.
Not that you know of?
Not that I know of.
Okay, yes. All right. We'll get there when we know how to cross the bridge when we get there. Now, can you take this document down? Because when you are coming, I want you to give us this document. I want a copy of the letter from Ministry of Communication requesting the Smart Infraco Limited to submit a proposal for the provision of this service. I need a copy of that letter from Ministry of Communication. I also need the proposal submitted by Smart Infraco Limited for the Smart Workplace projects. You wrote a letter to them, they responded in terms of proposal. I need a copy of the value for money reports on the Smart Workplace project. I also need a copy or copies of requests for quotation or proposal submitted by Smart Infraco to the following service provided contractors. Copies of evaluation and assessment report of the SIL, that's Smart Infraco Limited. Then copy of both notification of award and acceptance letter. I also need a list of all MDAs which have received support under the Smart Workplace project. MMDAs. I also need copies of signed completion certificate from NITA stating the full names and position of the officers who signed same. There may be 3 more. Copies of all invoices raised by the service providers. As for the document providing the payment, let me leave that one. So I need all this information. We'll give you dates to come and appear before the committee, and that date will be communicated to you by the committee through the clerk to the committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I think we have come to the end of the issue for today because we have suspended sitting on this issue. When new date is fixed for this hearing, we'll inform the members and the public. You are discharged. Minister of Finance, you are discharged. They are coming tomorrow. Minister of Finance is coming tomorrow. So, on a different issue. So, do you have any agency that we have not attended to and who are here? Honorable members, tomorrow we are expecting to deal with two reports. The petroleum revenue management reports, as well as foreign exchange receipt and payment. So we expect a number of agencies to come tomorrow. Ministry of Finance, Bank of Ghana, Ghana Revenue Authority, Petroleum Commission, a number of them to appear before the committee tomorrow. And I want to thank you very much for coming. The committee sitting is hereby adjourned to tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the forenoon.